Yeah, I'm going on late about this, but I'm glad I waited to talk about this. I was gonna rewatch the whole fight, but I ain't really had to rewatch the whole fight. Yeah, I watched it, but didn't have to rewatch the whole fight. It was a lot of things people had left out about the fight that happened this weekend that I didn't notice. That I'm glad I waited to actually say or to talk about. I ain't even want to talk about it, to be honest with you, because it's like, but I want to talk about it because I knew the JoJo Diaz and Prograis fight was going to be a fight that was highlighted. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen a lot of fights. I've seen a lot of fights, but people saying JoJo Diaz won that fight. Come on, man. That's the most pathetic thing I've heard in a minute. That is pretty pathetic. I would definitely say that. Bro, one judge had Prograis up by 6 points. And what are we talking about? And the dude really got booed though. And the thing that scared me about that was, is that going to be a preview of a Crawford versus Canelo? So Crawford go in there and box and be aggressive like Prograis did against Canelo. And Canelo go out there and fight like JoJo did. They gonna boo Crawford. I don't know if people know how much of a big deal that is. So I want to know why Prograis got booed. That's the first thing. They say don't run and everything else. Like, so was Regis Prograis running this weekend? Why did he get booed? Yeah, I'm shocked by that. Because if you really look at it, Crawford versus Canelo could easily go like Jojo Diaz versus Prograis. If that's a problem, yeah, they having a wrong conversation about Terrence Crawford right now. That's why leading up to it, everybody always talking about knockouts. Now somebody need a knockout to win. Like, JoJo wouldn't even let his hands go like that. Bro was really like hot dogging it through a couple of rounds. Because against Duarte, he was letting his hands go more. And they stopped the fight. That would have been a time you would have booed somebody. Yeah, they out here capping, man. These dudes ain't no JoJo Diaz fans. The man just got stopped. They had a worse stoppage by for him versus Duarte. And if you go back and look at that stoppage, he wasn't asleep or nothing. He was still on his feet, taking a couple shots. They stopped the fight. So yeah, these dudes ain't no super JoJo Diaz fans like that to be booing Regis Prograis. Like, stop it. When JoJo Diaz was getting knocked around by a Mexican guy and got stopped last year, they ain't care about it. I know what time it is. Too much capping going on out here. That's why a lot of people want to see Canelo lose, including me. The stuff like that be going on, that'll be the end of that chapter right there. We need to go ahead and shut that down immediately. Be way too much booing for no reason. Dudes be coming forward, initiating. It wouldn't have been no blood if JoJo wouldn't have punched Regis Prograis head into his head. That was crazy. If y'all go back and look, he punched Regis Prograis head into his head, which never happens. I'm like, dang, how you get booed? I'm telling you. The way Canelo been looking, that fight could easily go just like that. Easily. I'm already expecting controversy before that fight even happened. It's already happening. But that's a whole nother story. But why is Prograis and JoJo Diaz controversial? I didn't think that was a big deal. I didn't hear too many people talking about the fight before it happened. Yeah, I think that just be counting power shots. If somebody throwing a shot that look like it's a big shot, I think those are shots that people count. This man was jabbing his head off. And they talking about robbery. That's funny. That's that's actually hilarious. It's actually sad though, because Canelo and Crawford right around the corner. And we got this going on. It's pretty sad. It's definitely sad. I mean, it's gonna have to be a total domination if you're Terrence Crawford. Because if you go out there and fight like Prograis, you're gonna get booed. But I was surprised of hearing Prograis actually call out, say he'll fight Devin Haney. He was open to it. I know I heard that. And a lot of people didn't pay attention to it. But he's open to a rematch. Y'all know what the whole narrative was. I mean, I had to talk about this. You know what the whole narrative was. Everybody, it's funny. Everybody remember how much Devin Haney or Prograis said Devin Haney weighs in at, or weighed after at the second weigh in or whatever it was. It's not a big deal to me. That's why I don't remember like that, but I know what I was talking about. Somebody weighed in at what, 165 or something. He had some clothes on, whatever. But that was a big deal. Cause I know I just let people say things. It was a big deal, and all the fans was like, "Oh man, they they did Regis Prograis wrong, and they need to go to the commission, and somebody need to do something about this. Dude's coming in 25 pounds over, 30 pounds over. He would have never fought you if he knew that you was coming in over like that." Then why he want to fight him then? Why he open to the fight? That's all I say. Cause what I said was, dang, why we doing all that? He just made sure he got paid, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty good. Everybody else got paid straight. What's the big deal? Yeah, man, he coming in overweight and at this certain weight. Now all of a sudden you want to get in the ring with him again. Look how everybody just followed that whole narrative. Mm. So Regis just turned around and said, whatever y'all saying, I'm still getting in the ring with him. Y'all see that? What's up, Native Wild Man? What's going on, dog? Yeah, so Prograis is open to a Haney fight after everything I heard last year. Man, I'm talking about it got to a point where I was hearing Regis Prograis saying things about Haney. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the last time I'm gonna hear him say something about him. Then there'll be 4 or 5 more videos come up. Yeah, I told y'all. I told y'all how to be coming in. I'm like, oh man. See, that's how it was with my fight. I'm like, now I'm talking about everybody I heard, bro. I never seen this before in history. If anybody's seen this, let me know. Where a guy comes out and says, hey, when we had the next day weigh-in, this guy came in at this much weight. Boom, 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 boom. And you just hear a whole bunch of people repeat it. Oh, yeah, he was like 165 or something. Then all of a sudden, you got everybody saying, man, we don't need no guys coming in 25 over. Bro. And then everybody talking about PEDs right now. Y'all relax. A lot of y'all doing too much. Doing way too much. These dudes doing way too much out here. Regis Prograis just made everybody look stupid. Everybody. They just said, get these weight bullies out of boxing. But why does the guy who don't want to fight weight bullies trying to fight a so-called weight bully? So-called. Never seen that before. It's crazy work, y'all. So-called bully. Oh, it is? Yeah, they probably doing me dirty right now then. Yeah, I should be good though. I ain't doing nothing with the audio. If it is going up, let me see. Yeah, I should be good though. Yeah, it should be straight. We good now? Yeah, yeah, I'm good now. Probably was something weird going on. Yeah, definitely probably was something just weird. But yeah, should be good now. But yeah, he wants to fight a so-called. Yeah, I think I got this cord all hooked up on. I ain't really. I got it all over the place. I ain't really put on a certain way. Everything's straight though. It's just the cord was it went fully in. Yeah, it should be good now. But that's crazy that Prograis wants to fight a guy who's considered the weight bully. They put all that stuff on Devin Haney's name as far as being too big and he need to go to 160. They even say he need to fight Benavidez. But now he's saying he'll double back and fight him again. Oh yeah, appreciate that, man. I ain't even noticed it. Yeah, appreciate that. But that's crazy though. When I heard that, I said, "Oh man, he'll fight Haney." You got to go back and look at all the videos that have been put out since last year. People got to forget because they forget real quick. A lot of people forgot, man. They got to forget stuff these days because all the stuff came from his direction. I don't know any other fighter who weighed in the next day weigh-in, and I know what their weight was. No, I'll take that back. I found out recently Canelo was like 165 or something the day he fought Floyd. Something crazy like that. So yeah, I take that back. That's the only other second day weigh-in I know about. But I knew about that recent though. That's something that happened what? Over 10 years ago. We talking about something that happened what? A year and a half ago? And they still know his weight. But that just lets you know that that's a money fight. That Prograis think he'll get paid real good in the fight. And everything he said really ain't true if he'll get back in the ring with him. Allegedly. Yeah, everything can't be really true. You said I read that Tank is retiring. Is that true? He said that he was gonna retire. I didn't really feel like that was breaking news. He said that he was gonna retire a couple of times. I actually seen a video yesterday where 2 years ago he said that he was just gonna fight Devin, Shakur, and I think Ryan again and retire or something like that. So yeah, he's been saying stuff about retiring for a while now. He said this before he fought Roach. Yeah, I didn't think that was breaking news when it was said recently. I don't know if he said it again. But yeah, the idea of him retiring, I think earlier this year when he said it, that's why I said I feel bad for Tank, man. Because earlier this year when he actually said it out his mouth, people was like, I don't care what he says. So a lot of people think he's a liar. Even the people who support him. No matter what it is, bro. I don't care how much somebody say they love Tank. Bruh said he retiring. And everybody who supports him said he's a liar. Because if he says he's retiring and he's not, oh, he's just trolling. Trolling. Okay. If he trolling, why he said he ain't gonna fight Shakur yet and he ain't fight him? I thought when you trolling, that mean you just saying something, but you gonna do the opposite, right? But nah, he doing what he actually said he gonna do. That ain't trolling. So a lot of times they be like, he trolling. How he trolling and he doing what he said he was gonna do? I don't understand that. Yeah, they tripping off something right now. I don't know what kind of pot of gold Tank handing out right now, but they definitely believe it. Yeah, I just never understand the situation with Tank. That's why I said over the last however many years he's been boxing, the news around him, if it's not on YouTube, it's not really accurate, to be honest with you. And that's facts. Even the stuff on YouTube is pretty horrible these days. The new news from Tank. It's like everybody's speaking for him, but they don't know what he's gonna do. I'm telling you, every fight for Tank has been announced. They say he's gonna fight Haney, and then they say he's gonna fight Shakur and this guy. And he's fought Lamont Roach and everybody. So, they don't. It's just a hype fest at this point. He's had a good career, but bro, it's time to show up now. It's definitely time to show up. But what's going to be crazy, there's going to be a lot of guys. Look at Lomachenko, though. Lomachenko has not fought a lot of people that people wanted to see. He's fought people that people considered good, but is that the people that people wanted to see actually fight Lomachenko? No, he didn't fight Shakur. He didn't fight Tank. He didn't fight Keyshawn Davis. He didn't fight Andy Cruz. People will say Loma's old. He's younger than Terrence Crawford and Usyk. He didn't fight a lot of guys, man. Let's just keep it real. It's a lot of guys he could have fought. I don't know who people expect Tank to fight, but he's not. Tank is not about to fight 10 elite guys in the next 2 years. That's not going down. I think people believe that. Oh yeah, he's going. Nah. He should have took that Haney fight. I think what people starting to realize is when they was trolling Haney about the Tank fight, that was probably your only chance of getting that fight. You never know. It's probably your only chance. I'm just keeping it real. They ain't gonna want to hear that, but bruh, it's 2025. Tank about to be 31. By the time he fight Roach, if he does fight Roach, whoever he fights next, he's gonna be 31 years old. I don't know how long they think his prime is gonna be. Yeah, but if you go in 12 rounds with Roach, you might want to stay in the ring a lot more. For real, for real. The only person that could take a long time off and come in and fight at a high level and look the exact same, is somebody like a Loma or a Haney. Nobody say he looked trash. They say he ran. He was out for a year. Nobody say he looked trash. They say he ran. So even him, he comes back sharp. Boom, 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 boom. Each time. But with Haney, with Tank, he has to come back and this time he gonna get Roach. Yeah. Like for real, man. I already see what time it is. Then they talking about he coming back next year. So everybody in boxing finna wait till next year. He's either gonna fight. I'm gonna tell you right now. He's either gonna fight soon in the next month and a half, or he's fighting next year. Next summer. That's it. Because from what I've seen now, if he get in any kind of little legal trouble, they're gonna say, "Oh man, he can't fight now." Oh, he can't fight. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Unless he out here for attempted, you know what? Nah. Should be good. We done seen NFL players get arrested and still play that same day. And that's an NFL game. Yeah, Floyd took off long breaks and was still sharp when he came back. Yeah, for him to take a long break off and then come back and look rusty against Roach, man, that's not good, man. So yeah, I think right now, as a name, Tank is a good fighter, but as a somebody who can carry the sport, no sir. I don't know what people think is going on out here. They try to put certain fighters in the same mold as like Floyd Mayweather. Man, stop it, bro. Like, stop it for real. They don't know greatness for real. That's why I'm tripping out over the whole JoJo Diaz thing this weekend. Man, if you look at JoJo's resume, I'm gonna tell y'all who JoJo has fought recently. JoJo fought Regis Prograis at 140. Well, he fought at 140 before. He came in overweight at 140, I think. But he fought at 140 before. But that was a while ago, 2 years ago. But he fought Prograis, lost. Then he beat Jorge Diaz early this year. Then he lost to Montana, Duarte, Perez. And these are all losses in a row. Then he beat Jerry Perez. Then he lost to Gesta, Zapata, Haney. I mean, it's been a lot of losses. So for Prograis to go in there and box and get booed, it's kind of like. And then the Duarte fight, I thought that JoJo Diaz actually that was an early stoppage. And he had a cut on his eye in that fight. And he was stopped standing up. That's when he should have got a boo. But for Prograis to get booed this weekend, I'm like, man, come on, man. Somebody got to say something about this. Why was he booed? He fought a perfect fight. He didn't move. He gave JoJo Diaz every chance to knock him out. He was taking a whole bunch of shots, left hooks. He wasn't running. Wasn't even holding a lot. JoJo was really the one that was doing certain things like grabbing and then throwing hooks. I'm like, he got booed. It's gonna be dangerous when that Crawford fight happens. I'm telling you. If it's anything close to that JoJo Diaz and Prograis fight, it's gonna be a bad look. Now I'm starting to realize people don't count jabs, bro. So most fans, they don't think a jab can win you a fight. Unless you Tyson Fury. Because I for sure thought that JoJo Diaz was getting boxed in the head with a jab a lot. And to not to be and to have a hard time judging that fight or scoring that fight as a fan, for people to have a hard time judging that fight, it's real disappointing. I will be honest with you. I'm very disappointed as a boxing fan. Very disappointed. These dudes thought JoJo won. Are we serious? And then I got the punch numbers up here right now. I will put them up the screen, but with Diaz. Now this is what they have up here. This is what they have up here. Okay? We're gonna count this out. Cause I gotta go back and look at this. They said JoJo was landing 50% of his punches on basically every especially with the hooks. It's more so around like 45 because it's like 40. Bro, if he was landing that many punches every round, 50% of his punches, and it's nothing but power punches. Regis Prograis should have black eyes, shouldn't he? Yeah, that coffee box is it's terrible. How does Regis Prograis get hit by JoJo Diaz? 50% of JoJo Diaz punches. And he's not really hurt though. Because I thought in the first round, JoJo Diaz came out firing. After that, everything went flat. I'm like, oh yeah, he ain't doing much. Even later on, he started to jab more. And you can say it was because of the blood, but he caused the shot to for the blood to actually happen. And it's not really a big deal. It's just I've noticed when it comes to Prograis fights, I don't know why his fights are hard to score. Because I see these same opponents fight everybody else, same kind of fight, and it's easy to figure out who won. Oscar Duarte versus JoJo Diaz was a closer fight than this fight. And guess what? Nobody said nothing. And that fight just happened last year. Catterall versus Prograis. Prograis knocked down Catterall once, and Catterall knocked him down twice. But he was still letting his hands go. Now, if that kind of fight would have happened, you have a point, but nah, that doesn't make sense. I don't know what they thought JoJo was doing this weekend. And the company box looks crazy. I'm gonna tell you why this company box looks crazy. Now, Prograis has fought a lot of fighters recently. A lot of fighters. And JoJo has too. And I've seen a lot of company box recently. Man, I ain't seen a lot of people landing 50% of their punches like that. And the man had blood going down his face. I'm telling you, if he was landing 50% of his punches, power punches with no jabs, he has rounds where he's throwing zero, where he's landing zero jabs. One jab, two jabs. I mean, he's throwing nothing but power punches. 50% for 30 minutes? Nothing but haymakers? Yeah, somebody's supposed to be asleep. Or bleeding or something. Not bleeding from you clashing your head, no. So I don't believe the compy box in this one. I usually give it a chance, but nah, not this one. Even Canelo don't have no numbers like this. Let's be real. But JoJo did come to fight though. He always come to fight. That's why he was the co-main event. He always fight tough fighters. But I thought Prograis fought a lot better than I seen him fight in recent fights. But yeah, I don't know why he's disliked that much. They liked him last year when he said Haney was big and came in overweight. Not overweight, but came in heavy in the reweigh the next day weigh in. Come on, man. Now all of a sudden they booing him after a fight. Nah, I ain't trying to hear that. You see how they be letting everybody. That's why I don't let these people off easy, man. Cause then they do stuff like this, and it shows that they don't really care about judging the fight. Cause if you're just counting power shots, You judging the way they're judging JoJo Diaz. I'm gonna tell you why this is disrespectful. The way they're judging him as a fighter. JoJo Diaz is throwing number power shots. He ain't throwing no jabs. He's not moving around like Tyson Fury. If I had to make it, let me give you an analogy. If I had to make a difference, JoJo Diaz is fighting more like Wilder in this fight. Okay? And a Prograis was fighting more like a Tyson Fury in this fight. Most people said, oh, I thought Fury outboxed Wilder. And Fury was throwing jabs. Same thing against Ngannou, jabs. He wasn't throwing no uppercuts or nothing. So they know how to judge a fight off the jab. They judge Tyson Fury off the jab. They know how to judge a fight off the jab. They judge Usyk off the jab. They know how to judge a fight off the jab. They get the Regis Prograis, then they like, nah. So all of a sudden, JoJo Diaz gonna go out there and box like Wilder. And the same people who will say, man, Wilder, he can't box. That ain't I don't like that. That ain't impressive. You can't outbox nobody. Now JoJo gonna get a decision over Prograis? Come on, man. It's deeper than what people think. That's why I'm like, I'm finna say something about it. Way deeper than what people think. The whole narrative that everybody says is guys who fight that particular style like JoJo did and cause that type of damage against a person. That's a loss. That's the Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Because even when they talk about the first fight, people feel like, oh, he lost that fight. Oh, he didn't box good in that fight. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, JoJo Diaz throw a couple of hooks while bleeding. Yeah, I know how to break that down. Okay. But I've seen that before, though. They did that with Tim Tszyu, and we see how that went. A year later, now we here. But with Oscar Duarte, him saying something about Ryan, I said this last year a few times. I said Oscar Duarte wants to fight Ryan Garcia. I said that's a fight that's going to be on the table in the future. He's going to have a chance. People will know why I'm saying this now, but that's been something I've been talking about since last year. Duarte said he wanted to fight him after he fought Devin Haney. Said he won his rematch. And it wasn't really something that was a popular thing to say around that time because Duarte had just lost to Ryan Garcia. So he wasn't really impressive. He had just lost to Ryan Garcia. He fought JoJo. The week after Ryan Garcia fought Haney. Now, mind you, what I said, he fought Ryan Garcia the week after Ryan Garcia fought Haney. It's the reason why. He was trying to get that fight. So, yeah. And the way that went, he ended up getting a knockout over JoJo Diaz. But if people didn't watch that fight, they would have seen that JoJo was fighting back. We know he got a chin, so he wasn't chinny. He was still standing up, and they stopped the fight. I'm like, dang, why y'all stop the fight? JoJo's still fighting back. It looked like he could have won that fight. Yeah, so to see Prograis get booed, I'm like, oh, okay. I see what time it is. Moving on. It's sad that's still going on in boxing. But yeah, Duarte, he's trying to get in the ring with Ryan Garcia again. He feels like the first fight could have went his way. He really doesn't know what kind of Ryan Garcia was particularly in there. You know, we just don't know. And he wants to get another crack at him. That's something that's overshadowed And he actually said that recently, that he wants to get revenge on him. He said that multiple times. And, it gets overlooked. But me, that's why I'm around. I'm going to keep saying that he wants to fight the guy every time he says it. Because he's old golden boy. He's winning. People are yelling, asking Duarte to fight a lot of people right now. I was hearing a lot of big names popping up that people want to see Duarte fight. And to be honest with you, he's only gotten stopped by Ryan Garcia. And I've said that before. Only person he's gotten stopped by is Ryan Garcia. And if you look at his resume, he stopped a lot of guys. Man, the only person that stopped JoJo was him. Like, listen to this. The only person that stopped JoJo was him. Because people think I'm just talking. He's the only person that stopped JoJo. And he's the only person that fought Mariano. Mariano's fought Keyshawn Davis, Claggett, and didn't get stopped. So yeah, this is a fight. They gotta run that back. People think, oh yeah, Duarte got stopped by Ryan, so he ain't gonna do much. And he's still in the picture right now. I know he's a 140, but if he gets offered the fight, he'll take it. I'm pretty sure. Because he just said he'll fight Ryan in a revenge fight. I want my revenge. That's what he said. So if people are impressed by how he's fighting, then yeah, we should see him against Ryan, how Ryan is right now. The way Ryan is right now, I would see him in the ring with Duarte. People will say, I don't want to see that. It ain't no other names to put Ryan in the ring with. People ain't asking for him to fight Devin Haney, so they gave up on that. So there's no reason to look past the Duarte. They giving the man praise anyways. And the only person he's lost to got stopped by was Ryan. And from what I've seen, let's look at something real quick. Let me check something real quick. Because I forgot how the scorecards was against Ryan for Duarte. Somebody was winning early. It was Ryan was winning early. And then Duarte started to win rounds around the 5th round. Yeah, around the 5th round, that's when Duarte started to win some rounds. And around the 7th, Ryan got him. Or it might have been the 8th. No, in the 8th round, he got him. So yeah, remember I brought this up because by tomorrow, it's gonna be something else I'm gonna be talking about that's connected to this. So it's a reason why I'm saying this. I had to wait. I know it's late. I know people like, man, this fight was Saturday. Bro, it's a reason why I'm talking about this right now. Trust me. Trust me. It's the reason why I'm bringing this up. I'm telling you, the man just called Ryan Garcia out this weekend. They're going to try to look past whatever, but you got to understand, the media, they can ask or throw whatever name they want out there. But Duarte is the one that's getting in the ring. He does the business. He talks with Oscar. He's with Golden Boy. He's going to put the names out there he wants to fight. He said Isak Cruz. He said I would fight Matias or Gary Antoine Russell, but the champion I want would be Pitbull. And Then he said, I want my revenge with Ryan Garcia. So I already know what time it is. I already know. And from what I seen in that fight, he was starting to do some damage in the middle rounds. That's when Ryan started doing the shell defense, and everybody was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's working though." And he ended up stopping him. But Duarte was beating up guys before that. And that was a tough fight against Ryan. And before that, you got to realize Duarte was a nobody before this. People have to understand this. I compared this guy to Esau Cruz before he fought. This dude was a nobody. He was fighting Ryan. I seen him. I was like, oh, he fight like Esau Cruz a little bit. Not the same style, but you know how Mexican fighters is. But this guy was a nobody before that. And he got stopped by Ryan. I was like, man. So as far as I know, he's a lot better than that Ryan Garcia fight showed. So with everything that's going on now, on an even playing field, maybe he got a good chance with what's going on around boxing right now in a rematch. Who knows? Things could be different. Because from what I've seen, all the guys that Ryan could have fought, like Sims, Kenneth Sims, if he would have fought, that would have been a good fight with Ryan. But Mariano, that was a good fight. That was a good win for Duarte, though. People got to understand that. Right after Keyshawn Davis fought him, Keyshawn was struggling against Mariano. And even though he was winning a lot of rounds, it wasn't just dominating performance all the way, a certain way where he just demolished him. But Duarte, for him to go out there and do that, I didn't expect that. I'll be honest with you. So that's why I said he's starting to hit that stride right now, and he's working with Robert Garcia. He's doing all this while working with Robert Garcia. So Robert Garcia, because people like Robert Garcia a lot in boxing. So Robert Garcia working with Duarte versus Ryan Garcia could make a huge difference. Cause I seen Anthony Joshua look better against Usyk just off of working with Robert Garcia a couple of weeks. Just a couple of weeks he worked with him and looked a lot better against Usyk. So you never know. Yeah, I wouldn't get into huge details about why I want to see it. What's up, flat out of here? I ain't can't see my dog. I can't even see him on here. I don't know why. Dang, I can't see nobody in the chat. You can see. Yeah, man, it's wild right now. I'm telling you. From what I've seen, they gonna have a lot of crazy matchups coming up over the next year. Like by the end of next summer, next year, we got some crazy fights coming on. They thought that Anthony Johnson versus Jake Paul stuff I was talking about was fake. Man, I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna wait till they sign the fight. I'll talk about it then. But yeah, Duarte, I can see him fighting Ryan again, man. I'm telling you. It's not too many fights I can see happening again, but that's a fight I can see. because you got Duarte dominating too much right now, and to have him and Ryan still under the same umbrella. Yeah, I think Oscar gonna take advantage of that. I definitely think he's gonna take advantage of it. But yeah, this from what I've seen though with these fights, some of the worst breakdowns ever I've seen. And you know how I know I'm not tripping on the JoJo Diaz thing? Because Duarte is not a guy who jabs a lot. Sims is a guy who jabs a lot. And I wanted Sims to win. But I thought Duarte won. Look at that. So it wasn't just me taking the side on that. I'm looking at certain things and I'm like, whoa. I hope everybody don't think that JoJo Diaz was boxing like Duarte this weekend. And that's the impression I got this weekend. I'm like, okay. So the impression I got this weekend from a lot of fans was that Duarte boxed well, which I thought he did too. But they're saying JoJo Diaz had just as good as a performance as Duarte did. Man, you out your mind. JoJo lost. It wasn't a close fight, bro. They gonna set Canelo up for failure. Bro, I'm telling you right now. Over the next couple of weeks, every time this happens, I'm pointing it out. Because if we get to the Canelo Crawford fight and they talking like this, yeah, it's gonna be embarrassing on the sport. I'm gonna be honest with you. Cause it's not too many casuals really checking in to see JoJo and Prograis. But it's gonna be casuals checking in to see Canelo and Crawford. Man, watch these dudes. Watch these casuals break down the fight better than some of these other guys. Watch, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Most of the people who say, "Hey, man, I think the Canelo and Floyd fight was close," man, there ain't nobody who you ain't finna hear no casual saying that. You probably hear a casual like a novice beginner who keeps up with boxing, but people off the street, they know what time it is. They already know what time it is. You know, people really know how to break down a fight, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna give you an example real quick. The reason why I know people really know how to break down a fight is because have y'all ever seen a fight where people have fought like in a street fight or any kind of brawl videos? And usually some of them don't end in knockout. Bro, every time you know who won the fight. So if these people know who won the fight in that scenario, why they don't know who won the fight in the other scenario? It may be because of all the distractions. The copy box, you got the commentary they listening to, you got the fighters, you got the crowd, you got the punch noises. So all that play a part. But when you watching the street fight, you know who won. It's not even a question. So when you get out here and you be like, man, JoJo, if JoJo was in the street, JoJo would have been done. And that's real talk for anybody. If they ain't had no gloves on, he fought the way he did this weekend, he would have been cooked. Clashing heads and bleeding. Ain't no timeouts in the street. He would have been done. And anybody else would have stopped the fight. So that's the thing I'm disappointed about. I'm like, they can break down a street fight, but as soon as somebody put some gloves on and get a trainer and walk in the boxing ring, now we all of a sudden we don't know how to break down a fair one. That's why people always say, bro, turn off the commentary. Turn off the commentary. Repeatedly, repeatedly, repeatedly. Yeah, that's crazy to me. They better learn how to break down a fight with Canelo fight. Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, those little left hooks he be throwing and right hooks and right hands, that's it. That's all you're gonna be worried about as far as with him. So the same way everybody broke down Dimitri Bivol, I expect the same thing with Canelo. Man, cause they are like they don't know how to break down Canelo, man. After that Williams score, that Williams score fight, I'm like, oh man. Now you gotta go chase down Canelo. Now you gotta go chase him down. If that was the case with Triple G, he would have won every fight. Yeah, because nobody was running this weekend. So that's not really a factor in boxing like people think it is. Not really. It's not really a big deal. But I'm telling you, the pressure is going to be put on Canelo to move forward in this fight. I'm telling y'all. That running thing that was put out there, the pressure is going to be put on him as well. If he goes backwards and is on the back foot, gonna look at him a certain way. And I'm gonna be honest with you too. Duarte was on the back foot a lot this weekend. They won't talk about that. He was on the back foot a lot this weekend. I think it was close to being 50-50 this weekend with him and Sims. But he was on the back foot a lot. A lot. It could have been a real brawl early in this fight with Sims. Could have been a real brawl. I see him on the back foot a lot this weekend. Yeah, he was on the back foot a lot early, like first 3 rounds. Yeah, I seen that a lot this weekend. So yeah, the people, they're not talking about running rules or anything else right now because they don't want to place those on this fight because it's harder. It's harder. They don't want to put them on these fights. Trust me, it's harder. If you look at what Sims was doing this weekend, wasn't running. Prograis was going for a lot more than JoJo was. A lot more. So yeah, I don't understand how people was breaking down the fight. Now the guy who's being aggressive is getting booed. It's crazy what's going on in boxing. You got to sound the alarm on that one, bro. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The guy who was aggressive this weekend got booed. Dang. So yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and say this now. When it comes to Terrence Crawford, he's gonna have a lot of people going against him in this fight. Because if they care this much about JoJo Diaz versus Prograis, you can only imagine. So I think with Terrence Crawford, man, he just gotta go out there and dominate. I know this is not about Terrence Crawford right now, what I'm talking about as far as the video, but that's all I'm thinking about now. It's like, man, no way they're gonna break down him and Canelo fight fair. That's done. I'm just going ahead and get over that right now. In my eyes, this weekend was Canelo and Crawford. The way JoJo and Prograis fought, and Prograis got booed. Yeah, I'm just disappointed by that. Like, man goes out there, fights aggressive, goes forward, throws the most punches, gets booed. Nothing more you can do in that. That's what the fans asked for. No running. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. And it was a great fight that everybody's talking about. And you get booed. That's the part that I don't like. That's the part that I do not like. It's getting to the point now where, and I wouldn't say this is a low level fight because this is a big fight, but this isn't like Boychuk versus Ortiz or something like that. This is Duarte versus Sims. So for the fans to be checking in, like, yeah, man, if Prograis is aggressive against JoJo, I'm a boom. That's why it's mandatory that Canelo loses next month. Has to be. If he don't lose, it ain't gonna be no changes in boxing overall. It has to change. The arrogance of some of these fans, it got to change, man. They need a wake up call, and that's the biggest wake up call they can really get. Because after that, people gonna be looking around, trying to find somebody else. That needs to happen. That definitely needs to happen. Because I've seen certain fans, man, recently where it's like, I mean, they booed Tank after the Roach fight. And I'm like, ain't those Tank fans in there? So I already know what time it is. And they be trying to call people, man, y'all be hating on Tank. Man, I ain't never bought no ticket and went to the fight and booed this man after he had a draw with somebody. They swear people don't like him. You got people that like him that buy tickets to go boo him if he go 12 rounds and have a draw. I know you didn't just have a draw with a world champion. Boo. So I don't know what crowd they be looking at. But the one I seen this weekend, yeah, that's Canelo crowd. They got to go down. Canelo has to go down. That's why with Terrence Crawford getting all these narratives put out there on him, oh, man. Perfect timing, to be honest with you. I wouldn't want to be in a room with him after what's been said. So for Canelo to get in that square, it's not looking too good right now. They're putting the battery in Terrence Crawford back. It's going to look crazy soon. It's a lot of guys getting batteries put on their back. A lot. I don't know if it's good or, certain fighters fight better when stuff like that happens. Certain guys fight better. I think Russell, that happened to him after the loss with Puello. He fought better. Guys show up when they back against the wall. Duarte hit back against the wall. He was with Golden Boy, a signee who lost to Ryan by stoppage. Then had to fight JoJo next. So yeah, it's a lot of things right now going on in boxing. But he want that rematch. I'm telling you, Duarte gonna get the rematch. I'm telling y'all. I'm not just saying this. I'm gonna have. I got my phone on me. Let me see. Let me check something. But yeah, boxing's starting to pick it up right now. If guys ain't fighting at least every 6 months, man, you gotta pick it up, man. You gotta hang it up. Yeah, let me see. One. Yeah, I might talk about that tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about the other thing tomorrow that is connected to, but yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Think I'm gonna try to come back on late, probably. Talk about this Bitterville situation. But this Duarte situation, do not overlook it. This man is on a winning streak. He's one of the hottest fighters at 140 right now. He's really at 135. That was fighting at 140 with this Ryan fight. Stuck around at 140. And now he's in a good position. And we need a lot of fighters at 140. And he wasn't a guy that was looked at as a factor around the time that Matias was calling out a lot of guys the first time last year. But if you look at the list, you got Teofimo, Matias, Hiroka, Hitchens, Adam Azim, Dalton Smith, Barbosa, Puello, Russell, Delgado, Machado, Tito Machado, Claggett, or Jermaine Ortiz, Rayo. You got Duarte. You got John Fernandez, Santiago. You got O'Leary. Man, you got a lot of people. You got Cruz, Isak Cruz, Elvis Rodriguez, Prograis, Sandor Martin. You got a lot of people at 140. And you can keep going. And I know a lot of people have been saying recently that they wanted Prograis to fight Emiliano Vargas. Shoot, I don't know why they asked Prograis to fight Vargas when Keyshawn said he would have fought Vargas at 140. And Vargas at 140. I don't know. Maybe I gotta answer that question. Didn't Keyshawn already call him out last year? I would just make that fight. I would just make that fight. If I was them, I would really chill because I think Vargas need like 2 more years for real. But the reason why I say they should chill is because he's the same age as Abdullah Mason. If you think he on the same level as Abdullah Mason, throw him in the ring with Keyshawn. That's what Abdullah Mason was gonna do. He was gonna get in the ring with Keyshawn at 21. Put him in the ring with him. What are we talking about? You said Canelo's at the end of his career. Yeah, everybody is right now. Like Wilder. Canelo's the youngest guy though that's like at the end. Canelo's only 30. He just turned 35, didn't he? He like 35. Yeah, he at the end of his career. But he's still Canelo though. He still should be able to get it done versus Terrence Crawford. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, the way these people be talking about Canelo, they act like he beat Floyd. So Canelo gotta show up in my eyes. You gotta think about all the things that people have said over the last 15 years at least about other fighters. When they're comparing them to Canelo, they call guys trash, horrible when it comes to Canelo. And most fighters are good till they retire. When Usyk retires, he's gonna be great. Usyk's about 38. Bitterby is 40 right now. If Canelo want to be an all-time great, it's time to show up. He has to. He know what time it is. Canelo knows right now what time it is. With this Terrence Crawford stuff, he's not talking. He know Terrence Crawford locked in. All this other stuff people saying about Terrence Crawford right now, it's not gonna mean anything when he get in the ring with Canelo. But people are scared right now. They are. They're scared. Everything you hear people talking about Crawford's size. Everything I'm hearing about Floyd Schooler. Everything I'm hearing about Crawford and Canelo is about Crawford's size and how strong he is. I'm not hearing too much about Canelo, what he's bringing to the table lately. I think a lot of people scared right now. To be honest with you, up until the fight with Canelo and Crawford, I don't think anybody gonna say anything as far as what Canelo's gonna do. Or they've said everything. They try to use size, power. Then you seen the situation with Berlanga recently when he got knocked out and Munguia got knocked out. People are nervous right now. They know that everybody Canelo's fought already has been knocked out. So they want to say that Crawford got a superpower. If he goes in there and beats the crap out of Canelo, so they can make him look bad. They're trying to come up with some excuses already. They're trying to come up with some excuses. To be honest with you, they could have actually saved Canelo if they knew he wasn't going to be ready. They could have just said William Skull won. It's not like Canelo's undefeated. But yeah, I think he's going to run into a lot of trouble, though. People got to realize these fights with Turkey Al Sheik is a lot different than any other fight. You're not going to have all these stipulations on people and try to take advantage of them going into the ring. And if he believes in karma, I hope he got some good karma because he's been saying some crazy stuff lately. Canelo said most of the fights he had disadvantages. Well, his team, I think Ed Reynoso said that. I'm like, you had disadvantages. In what fight? This man's crazy. We have to get this. Yeah, he has a KO chance for sure. He definitely has a chance. It's gonna be a close fight now. It's not gonna be one of those where. But I think the outside noise and Canelo's snappiness at Crawford, it motivated him. You gotta realize nobody really talks to Crawford the way that Canelo was talking to him. Was talking about his resume and who he hasn't beat. Yeah, that's not a lot of things you can really say good to a guy who's number one pound for pound. He hasn't fought anybody. That might backfire on him. Can't motivate a guy like that. He really can't. But with Canelo, I don't think, from what I seen his last fight, man, I really think he slowed down, bro. Like I told everybody, I'm gonna put this in perspective one more time for people. Oscar De La Hoya, I think he retired at 35. Yeah, I think Oscar De La Hoya retired at 35, man. And Canelo is 35 right now. Yeah, Oscar 35. Yeah, he retired at 35, so this might be the year that Canelo hang it up, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I know everybody's saying that he can keep boxing after this. Terrence Crawford said, I don't know if a lot of I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that later on. People haven't really talked about it. I'll save that for I'm probably trying to talk more about it tomorrow night if I can. But yeah, Terrence Crawford said, man, as far as Canelo, this is gonna be your last fight. I don't think everybody's peeped that. When Canelo was trying to be smart with Crawford and yeah, you're a good fighter and everything else. Crawford said, this is gonna be your last fight. I hope you have a career after this. I hope your career continues after this fight. This man said, I hope your career continues after this fight. He wants to end this man's career. And the crazy part about that fight is Amir Khan comes out. Bro, that's why I say, man, these boxers, people don't know it. Like Scarface said, you need people like me. Because you have boxers that switch 50 times about who's going to win, and Crawford has no chance. He's too small. Now you got people talking about he going to win by knockout, and they picking him now. Now Amir Khan goes around talking about he going to pick Crawford now. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I think he said even by knockout possibly. Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think he said that, but the way he tripled back, he possibly could have said that. I forgot what he said word for word, but I'm like, man, somebody else giving this man a chance? They've been walking around all these years knowing this man the best. Knowing this man's the best. Yeah, Canelo, he slowed down. But Canelo was getting his tail whooped in every era, though. He got whooped by, in every stage of his career, he's gotten whooped. He's never showed that he was the best. This is his time to show that he's the best right now. You know what I'm saying? Every stage of his career, I know the narrative out there for Canelo is he's old and maybe he'll lose to Crawford. He definitely might lose to Crawford. He might get stopped. But the thing about it is he's lost in every stage of his career. Early, in the middle, and in the end. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything's starting to catch up to him. He was a good name for these years he's been boxing. For the way they pushed him, but they've been pushing him though. He is a product of what I would say headlines and media stuff. Because as soon as the fight get close, then everybody start telling the truth about Crawford. You know, so they want to keep the focus off Canelo because they really been blowing smoke up a lot of people's, you know what, as far as with Canelo. These people don't believe in Canelo like that. They're not finna talk about Canelo that much leading up to the fight. They're not gonna talk about Canelo that much leading up to this fight with Crawford. All the news has been about Crawford every time. And it's gonna be that way. Because two things, you want to make sure that and they're not just putting out good headlines just to put good headlines out there. They want to make sure that if he does win, people will say, yeah, well, I said this before, how good he is and everything else. Because they know he got a chance. I mean, they've been bluffing the whole time. They just said the man lost his last fight. That's the thing that irritates me the most. They said that Crawford lost his last fight, but he's going to beat Canelo. So the guy that Crawford just lost to, they say he lost to, that he's better than Canelo. That doesn't make sense. If he lost to the Majamov guy, but he'll beat Canelo, how does he? I don't understand that. So Canelo's worse than the guy he just fought. So they think Majamov is trash, but they think that he beat Crawford. But they think Crawford will beat Canelo. They scared, man. I'm telling y'all. The whole PED talk, they're only saying that because if he wins against Canelo, because people think he is going to win, they're going to say, see, look, the reason why he looked so good against Canelo was because of what I said. It's just pathetic, man. It just goes to show that no matter how much somebody call themselves a boxing expert, they want particular boxers to lose. They just want them to lose, no matter what. I mean, even Superman got beat up a couple of times. I ain't never seen a movie where Superman or Batman won every battle. So yeah, with the whole Canelo scenario, his back's against the wall. I'm telling y'all. The age thing they're using, dude, is not gonna last long, man. I'm telling you. From what I heard Crawford said, and I don't think Crawford has ever said this before, but like he said, I hope you continue boxing after this fight. Say he gonna retire that man. And I've been watching Terrence Crawford a long time. He was pretty serious about that. I will say that. And you got to realize he's not going to be clinching. Crawford doesn't clinch. He doesn't hold. He punches the whole fight. He can do everything Dimitri Bivol can do. And he knocking guys out. He knocking guys out that Charlo can't knock out. Any Charlo. How about that? And that's on record. So, and we already know Charlo is one of the hardest punchers in boxing. And he even can't get guys out of there that Crawford knocked out. So the whole power thing, people starting to realize how much power he got. So it's becoming a hot topic, but it's too late. It's too late, man. It's just people don't like the guy. It happens. A lot of people don't like Evander Holyfield. That's why he don't get celebrated like that. They act like the only person that beat Tyson was Lennox Lewis. Yeah, they can't stand Evander Holyfield. It's just certain fighters like that. That's what they do, man. They pick their ones they want, win or lose. Then they'll try to act like you're a people's champion. Nah. Some of these guys ain't people's champion these days. Is Canelo a people's champion? I don't think so. People don't understand how much pressure Canelo has on him to fight certain guys from Mexico. America has very low standards. So in America, Canelo's gonna be a very highly rated guy. But in Mexico, it's not really like that. Gotta be honest with you. It's not really like that. The man's coming to America and dominating, and still Mexico is not really impressed by that. So that's why Canelo is starting to leave America a lot more and go other places and do other things because he's starting to hold his career back now. At first, when he came to America, it was helping, but it's not helping no more. It's not helping when every time you fight somebody, people say, "Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Whatever you say, that's good. Yeah, that's good." Now they look back, "Oh, Berlanga, that ain't good. Oh, Munguia, that's not good either." No, it's not. This dude is fighting people who ain't been champion at 168, or Berlanga ain't even been champion. And getting knocked out by 160s. Man, they finna set Canelo up. I told people recently. I said, bro, hold on. I know Berlanga. I said, I know Munguia just got knocked out by 160. See, people don't know that. People don't know the guy that knocked out Munguia is a 160. People do not know that. They think the dude is a 168 because he fought at 168. Dude is a 160. And we think Crawford gonna get that dude up out of there? Come on now. I don't want to make sense, but I don't want to make too much sense. But a guy who you gotta think about this. Let me just say this, because this is not really a Crawford and Canelo live. I know people want to talk about it, so. But if you look at how Munguia got hit by anybody, and for Canelo not to get him up out of there, people said, well, he was carrying him. Canelo carried Munguia. He doesn't have the killing instinct no more. That's gonna hurt his performance. If he's not going in there trying to get guys out of there, especially a Terrence Crawford, if he's been in the mode where cruise mode, people gonna say, well, he's been boxing long enough to where he can turn it on. Bro, Terrence Crawford's older than Canelo. He got just as much boxing experience as Canelo does. All these boxers know who Terrence Crawford is. Trust me. He got just as much experience as what's up, J-Man? What's up, dog? But yeah, people getting all their excuses together because they know. After they seen Berlanga get demolished recently, they're like, oh man. I sat back, I seen people talking about Canelo's resume ain't good and he ain't getting no knockouts. I'm like, man, Canelo ain't fought since May. We just now talking about that? They scared, man. That tripped me out. Berlanga gets knocked out and they start talking about Canelo. And this is people that like Canelo. I'm like, oh man, they scared. So when he got all these rumors coming out around Crawford's name, that's why people like, yeah, that's why he got so many knockouts. Nah, he knocking people out because he knocking people out. That's why. Ben said he was getting dudes up out of there like that. It's only a certain amount of boxers that get people out of there like that. Everybody ain't one punch knockout artists. It's not happening. He getting guys out of there because he getting them up out of there. The reason why Canelo ain't doing it, it sounds like everybody ain't trying to figure that out. So I'm gonna let them figure out why he ain't been getting knockouts. For a guy to get knockouts like Canelo used to, it's crazy how people only remember him knocking out Caleb Plant. And they look at the Charlo fight and they're like, yeah, Charlo was running. That's why I said to everybody, you consider that running? Now listen, this is a very important thing I'm finna say. This probably has never been said in history. As far as with me. I'm just talking about as far as with me. Y'all remember when they said, this is how fans curse themselves. Y'all remember when fans said Charlo was running? Let me ask you a question. Would you rather fight a fighter who runs like they said Charlo did against Canelo? Or would you rather fight a fighter who runs like William Skull did against Canelo? Now, when I saw Charlo and Canelo fight, people was celebrating the fight. It was like one of the most searched fights that Canelo had recently. Still one of the most searched fights. But they said Charlo ran the whole time, man. He ran. But William Skull, they said he ran. And that's two different. They didn't fight the same at all. Charlo didn't fight like William Skull did. Charlo was on the ropes. William Skull was on the ropes, but he was moving though. He wasn't sitting there hanging around taking shots. If so, Canelo would have possibly dropped him. Because Skull was getting touched up the fight before Canelo fought. That's why I was so surprised. I'm like, the dude looked bad his last fight. Canelo should get him up out of there. I'm talking about the dude looked horrible. And he couldn't do it. So yeah, he's been looking bad for a minute. But the whole Berlanga situation, I'm gonna tell you right now. If Terrence Crawford ends up going out here beating this man, I'm hearing they have a possible rematch clause. I had to look back into that. I think I heard about it then forgot. If that's the case, you might not even need a rematch. What if Terrence Crawford go out here and beat this man so bad that they won't even have a rematch? That's going to be worse than anything. That means he got beat up so bad, he'll rather go fight one of these other young guys instead of fighting Terrence Crawford again. Because I already know with Canelo, he slowed down. And I know a lot of people said, man, what if you take something? I'm going to be real with y'all. And I'm not being funny with or anything else when I say this. It ain't going to be too good for him to take anything right now in his career. Not even because of the turkey on the sheet thing. For health reasons, Canelo don't need to be taking anything at 35. But I'm not saying he's doing anything allegedly. I'm just not saying that. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm just saying. It wouldn't be healthy for him right now to take anything. We don't know how his body would react right now. And the way he looked against Skull, nah, he good, man. He good. It's a such thing as bone decay. You don't want to do that. We seen a fighter recently who just got off steroids, and the dude broke his wrist throwing a regular punch he always throws. And I don't want to. Well, I will say it. Forget it. Everybody else ain't covering boxing like that. Canelo broke his same. You know how Chavez broke his wrist? I still got it on here because I'm finna show it if it's on here. The video on here, I'm gonna show it. So this is Julio Cesar Chavez. I don't know if the volume's on here, so excuse me on that. But Julio Cesar Chavez threw like a hook or something, the same way Canelo did against John Ryder. Canelo hurt his wrist against John Ryder. But what did Canelo do? He had to fight the rest of the fight. Couldn't take that loss. Martinez just threw the towel in like, no, I'm done. It's the reason why I'm pointing this out.
El señor Julio Aranda, tercero sobre la superficie. Ahí está el choque de guantes entonces. ¡Y vámonos! Todos los GOATs que golpean fuerte están en Codere.mx. Esquiva la derrota con el nuevo bono de bienvenida de hasta 5,000 pesos y recibe la tarjeta mejor recibida, la más aceptada, la tarjeta de Don Lama.
10 puntos para Gerardo Valenzuela, 9 puntos para el Rey Martínez. Es el momento de cambiar algunas cosas. Tienen que ponerle entusiasmo a la pelea si buscan la victoria.
Y es que sí, decía el campeón mexicano que le falta golpear abajo al Rey Martínez, pero y cuidado porque se lastimó. Se lastimó el brazo.
Déjame aprovechar tú, mi querido Cesarín, para mandar saludos a Clínica Baja del Sol, Tijuana, que tenga problemas de alcohol, drogas, bulimia, anorexia, compulsivos al sexo como tú, mi querido Cesarín. Ya sabes, estás becado de Clínica Baja del Sol. Llamen a www.com Baja del Sol. Y aparte, te quiero decir que muy pronto ya nos vamos a expandir por varios estados de la República Mexicana.
Parece que la situación es grave, mi querido Chéchare. Se está quejando de manera importante el Rey Martínez de la muñeca.
Pierde si no puede continuar.
Pierde si no puede continuar. Ahí está, y no va más, no va más el combate. Se lastima la muñeca Rey Martínez. Ahí parece que fue el problema cuando soltó el golpe de mano izquierda y pega en el codo de Valenzuela. Ahí es donde se duele Rey Martínez de manera más que manifiesta.
¿Pierde la pelea, Ro?
A menos que digan que fue choque.
For anybody. What did Ryan Garcia just say recently that he had injured? I'm throwing some good points out there for y'all real quick. Throwing some good points out there. People say, "Oh, that happens all the time." Yeah, to a guy who actually punching like that, though. You got to be punching like that. We talking about dudes who punching like that, like a Brian Norman, a Wilder. Yeah, they hurting their hand punching people. Yeah, you got to be punching like that, though. And the thing about it is, Ryan, this is Ryan's right hand he hurt. The hand that Ryan hurt was his right hand. He's not throwing any let me see if I can pull it up. Ryan ain't famous for the right hook. So look, Ryan he got a surgery on his right hand, right? Bro, didn't he injure his hand before? Did he injure his hands before? Let me see. See, he got a surgery right here where he's repairing. Man, come on, man. Let's be real, bro. Are we serious? Look at this. Why everybody talking about PEDs? Man, they better chill out with that. This a real conversation they ain't gonna have. That other PED stuff they talking about, man, that's for small fry. This the real stuff right here. All right, so Ryan hurt his hand this year, 2025, right? Look at this though. Watch this. It's 2025. He hurt his hand so recently. So he's injured right now, according to reports. But what about this? What is this about? Look at this. So is his power hand the left hand or the right hand? Ryan's not known for sleeping guys with the right hand like that. Not from what I've seen. Not to the point where you breaking it. So yeah, if Terrence Crawford had situations like this, I would be like, man, Terrence Crawford tripping. Nah. This is where, that's why I say I don't even be talking about stuff like this. I only show things like this to educate people. But this conversation about the pads and stuff, it's an elementary conversation, bro. It's for the kids at this point. Because this is for the big boys. This right here, I'm not even saying too much, but people who know what I'm talking about, they know. But yeah, guys is getting injured though. I don't care how much of guys, people like, oh, I don't care about the juice. You destroying your fighter, bro. Whatever fighter you support that has been taken or I don't know. If you think he's been taken and you're cool with it, it's destroying his body. Overall, destroying his body. This man getting a right hand hurt. He's not even throwing power punches like that with the right hand. On the heavy bag, okay, he probably hurting on the heavy bag. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. So now He's not known for having hand issues though, but Shakur is. See what I'm saying? So yeah, things is a lot more. Oh yeah, I ain't even looking at the chat. Appreciate everybody who in the chat, man. Shout out to J Man. Well, yeah, man, they want to have this conversation about the pets and everything else. Bro, I'm telling y'all, when it comes to stuff like this, I can talk about this for hours, all day, and every minute we'll be talking about something new. I'm telling you, this is an elementary conversation. They need to leave this alone. Your boy needs to bounce back ASAP. Ryan Garcia, he has to bounce back. Bro coming off a hand injury. If he loses to a Rolly again, he's done. So he's not going to take that fight. They thought about it. They're like, nah. But I'm going to tell y'all tomorrow. I'm telling y'all. I can say some stuff today where y'all be like, whoa, nobody's talking about. I'm going to say some stuff tomorrow. Because y'all know I'm not going to be on here talking about Ryan Garcia unless it's really something to actually talk about that's going to matter in boxing. So I'm not on here just talking about him. If I talk about anybody, it's for a reason. I'm telling you, it's all connected. But I had to talk about what I'm talking about today to talk about what I'm talking about tomorrow. But this is crazy right here. So guys is around here with Eddie Reynoso breaking their wrists and hands, failing tests and everything else, and people worry about Terrence Crawford right now. He's at Oscar begging for Ryan versus Tio. Yeah, I know it's a lot going around that situation right now with Ryan and Oscar. I'm telling you, when because I don't want to put everything out today, it would look stupid. Wouldn't even make sense. But tomorrow, I'm gonna keep you updated on that, Jay. Definitely gonna be updated on that tomorrow. When you see what I'm gonna say tomorrow, because it got something to do with the Oscar Duarte thing too. That's why I'm talking about the Oscar Duarte versus Ryan Garcia. I'll just say this: Oscar Duarte is a choice behind a guy like let's just say if Oscar had a list and he wanted to do Ryan versus Tio, Oscar Duarte versus Ryan is on that list. Cause Duarte want that fight. Cause he feel like I don't know what kind of Ryan I was in there with. So we gotta see what's going on with that. And people want to overlook that. That's why I said, bro, he's gonna tell you, bro. They don't understand what's going on right now. Bro really cooked. He really cooked. He really gonna be out here doing favors. Cause he got a lot of rematches that's starting to add up. And that's what happened for being shady in boxing. The younger kids, they learning right now. They like, I ain't finna do what he's doing. That's why guys ain't really calling people out like that no more. They're like, I learned from Ryan. Please don't ask for something you ain't ready for. Because Devin Haney still gonna be out here fighting. That's why everybody. I posted a picture of Devin Haney at the it's before I knew he fought Ryan on Pez. And his lip was busting and everything. I was like, man, he got up 4 or 5 times. That's one of the best things I've ever seen in boxing. People gonna say that's nut hugging. But a week later, come to find out he fought a guy on PEDs. Yeah, that was one and what everybody be saying now, a year later, that was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. So don't laugh at something that's really historic. In history, a lot of people are gonna look at that moment, they're gonna be like, man, I was laughing at that time. And a dude was doing the impossible, walking through left hooks that was on all kind of stuff. Walking straight through it. I'm telling you, when you see a guy lose at his lowest, That's when you see what a man really is. Haney went out there that same night. What happened? Blew a birthday cake out or whatever it was, cupcake. Everybody like, what is he celebrating? He just lost. And I want to point that out, and I want people to remember that point, because when he was at his lowest, he blew out I don't know if it was his lowest. I ain't gonna say his lowest, but I'm saying at that point, it was supposed to be his lowest according to everybody else. He blew out a cupcake or whatever. When Ryan was in that situation, bro was in the ambulance crying and didn't get dropped 3 times. It be like that sometimes, man. I'm telling you, dudes is finna get tested as a warrior. It's gonna be a lot of people getting tested as a warrior. Turkey's starting to turn up the heat. See, last year he was being nice. He was letting all the fighters from each country participate in Riyadh. Had a couple of journeymen on the card. This year he like, bro, ain't no journeyman. It's not gonna be not one journeyman on my card. If you're gonna be a prospect, you're gonna be a super prospect. We're not having any journeyman on the card this year. Every guy's gonna be tested, and we're going straight into the fights. And it's catching the fans off guard, because you gotta think about it. We a month away from Crawford and Canelo. And fans is like caught off guard. They're talking about stuff. They're trying to figure out Crawford still. And it's like, man, been kind of talking about the wrong stuff lately. I'm gonna be honest with you. 6 weeks ain't gonna be enough time to figure out enough about Terrence Crawford, from what I've seen. And people aren't interested in learning about him. They just want to see what he can do in the ring. But outside the ring explains more about him inside the ring, more than any other fighter. But a lot of stuff that he does, they don't want to pay attention to. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna do a good breakdown. I'm telling y'all, for everybody who's on this channel, I'm gonna put in so many man hours. I'm not gonna tell y'all what kind of breakdowns I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do so many things. I'm gonna try to grab any stat that I can't find on this Crawford and Canelo fight, and I'm gonna try to put it out there. Because I don't know if people decided on who they want to win or something like that. They probably want to see the difference between what guy does what, but I'm gonna put some things out there where explain this whole Crawford and Canelo fight, because I've been talking about this fight ever since I started this channel. But I knew Terrence Crawford was gonna get this fight last May of last year, when Munguia was fighting Canelo. I knew Crawford was gonna get this fight, guaranteed. Canelo needs Terrence Crawford in this fight. People might not think that. He needs Terrence Crawford badly, like more than Benavidez needs him. Then people think Benavidez needs him. Canelo needs Terrence Crawford more than people think Benavidez needs Canelo. He needs this man bad. I'm telling you that right now. And the reason why I'm saying that is the people that Canelo's fought is already getting knocked off less than a year after he's fought him. He needs this. He needs this Terrence Crawford fight bad. He needs it. Whether people say, oh, he might not get credit for it, that is a lie. Canelo sat up here and said, yeah, that'll be a good win for him if he be able to get that wild man. That'll be a good win for him. He's definitely going to get credit for it, but they say he's not going to get credit for this fight if he beats Terrence Crawford. How he's not going to get credit for this fight? And he got credit for Charlo. And everybody before Charlo even fought Canelo said Charlo was trash. Trust me, they're going to give Canelo credit. They're going to make sure they give Canelo credit. They gave Canelo credit for John Ryder. They're going to make sure Canelo gets credit. He got credit for Munguia, Berlanga. They're going to make sure that this man gets credit, without a doubt. All that, he ain't gonna get credit, man, for this guy. He's small. He came with 2 weight classes. Mikey Garcia came with 2 weight classes. And did Earl Spence get credit? I got one even better than that. Maidana had Adrian Broner come up 2 weight classes. Yeah, everybody don't talk about that one though. That's one people don't talk about. Adrian Broner came up 2 weight classes to fight Maidana. While guys like Canelo didn't fight Maidana. It's a lot of guys I've seen recently, and I'm gonna throw some names out there too. Tim Bradley ain't fight Maidana. It's a lot of guys around that time that ain't jump in the ring with Maidana. I don't think Maidana's a super fighter, but as far as the style matchup, it's a lot of guys. That's why everybody like, yeah, Bronner. Yeah, Bronner, the only one that had the balls enough to get up in there. Because I'm going to tell y'all this right now. And this is why Floyd, even though sometimes you can criticize his resume any way you want to, but this is why even Floyd gets credit. Because Floyd fought Maidana, right? But nobody was trying to get in the ring with Maidana, though. They weren't trying to get in the ring with him. Don't let them fool you. Yeah, don't let them fool you, man. They knew Maidana was getting dudes up out of there. He was a tough fight. And Broner went in there and fought him. And that's sad, man. Broner had to be one of the guys that jumped in the ring with him. But around that time, what was around that time? 2013? Yeah, man, he's good. A lot of guys could have gotten in the ring with him around the time. Got to think about it. So when you think about it, man, Canelo, he been getting by for a minute, bro. I'm going to just keep it real. Him and a lot of other fighters. I like Pacquiao, but he wasn't trying to get in there with Maidana either. I don't know what it was about Maidana, but that punch rate, it wasn't something they wasn't trying to deal with. And the sad part is, Amir Khan got in there. But what Amir Khan said, and a lot of people don't even notice this too. Amir Khan said technically, I'm not gonna say that, but technically, from what I've heard, the punches that he was getting hit with from Maidana kind of ruined him. He said he didn't even remember most of that fight with Maidana. So he had to see it on TV. He was like, oh, okay. Start coming back to him, but said the hardest puncher he's been in the ring with was Maidana. He's been in the ring with Crawford, and he's been in the ring with Canelo. Hardest puncher he's ever been in the ring with, Amir Khan said, was Marcos Maidana. And Amir Khan just switched from Canelo's too big, Crawford has skills, good IQ. Oh, I give Crawford a chance. And I think he said Crawford may knock him out. He said Crawford has enough power to knock out Canelo. And I'm going with Crawford. Then he said something else recently when he was really going for Crawford. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is a guy that knocked out Maidana, but he got hit by Maidana. And they said, hold on, you got hit by Canelo too. He said, but Canelo was like a piercing punch, like a piercing stab or something. He was like, with Maidana, I don't remember nothing. I don't remember anything as far as at a certain point. I couldn't remember anything that was going on. I still don't remember parts of the fight. So yeah, guys really been, trust me, bro. It ain't too many Terrence Crawfords out there. So when people throw his name out there, ever since back then, when guys was fighting Maidana and stuff back then, like American, ever since back then, it hasn't been a lot of guys that were jumping out there for the smoke. It just really wasn't. And I think that Maidana, ever since Maidana fought Amir Khan, I think, my opinion, allegedly, I think he was chinny after that. I think he really was chinny after that. Because the type of fight he fought with Maidana, he couldn't do it no more after that. And Maidana's cracking. People know Maidana can hit. So it wasn't like Amir Khan could just take punches from Maidana and then all of a sudden everybody else, no, he ain't got no chin. I'm telling you, something went left after that fight. This man couldn't remember anything. Then he goes, and after that, he just, chin wasn't the same. Yeah, his chin wasn't the same after that. But that's why a lot of guys, man, they did not jump in the ring with Maidana. They seen what happened with Amir Khan. They was like, nah, we're not gonna do it. Because Amir Khan, he got names on his resume. So it wasn't like he was going around picking certain people. But the other guys, yeah, they wasn't trying to see him like that. And he gave Breeders Prescott his first loss, so he was already coming out the gate hot. But yeah, he got stepped on with that one fight. But I'm telling you, guys know already that Terrence Crawford is going to be a huge threat with this Canelo situation, man. But they're overlooking what I just told you, though. These guys catching injuries and everybody's ignoring it and thinking guys are just getting injuries for no reason. With a right hand, if you're Ryan Garcia, has he ever had a left hand injury? It don't say anything about him ever hurting his left hand. It's right hand, right hand, right hand. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so that's a whole nother video right there. I just gave y'all exclusive right there, to be honest with you. And I mixed that in all together. But Eddie Reynoso, it's a lot of fighters right now he's worked with that's having a history of hand and wrist injuries. And it's all happening right now. And this is after testing clean. Some guys after suspension. That's weird, bro. Telling y'all that right now. That's weird, dog. Like, that's way weirder than that PED crap they talking about right now. That's very weird. That's so weird. I gotta write this down real quick. Sometimes I don't think about this stuff till I get on here. My mind be somewhere else sometimes. But so you got Ryan and Martinez that just came off suspension. Okay, testing positive now. I mean, testing negative for PEDs. They now testing negative, clean. They had to correct the weight. These guys have moved up in weight. They moved up in weight. And you injure your hand after your first suspension. Really, yeah, that was your first suspension. And you all worked with Eddie Reynoso before. So people don't realize it, but these dudes gonna be in the ring in a clean fight, breaking down like bone decaying. Yeah, I don't know if people know that, but in boxing that matters, and that's happened to Canelo already. What was his injury with his hand? Let's go back to this real quick. The stuff matters, man. Like I said, they letting people run around with a bomb attached to them, and it's not gonna help these guys out in the long run. Let me pull up this other photo. But yeah, so we got wrist injuries happening in the Reynoso camp. And people talking about Terrence Crawford, bro. Look up bone decay when it comes to steroid usage. It's very serious. That's why sometimes people go past. A lot of times steroids is used for like older people when they need a muscle to in their hand just to grab things. But yeah, dude's wrist. This is a wrist surgery he had. This is around the time. When was this? This was 2022 after the Golovkin fight. So he had the John Ryder fight where he hurt his hand, and he went into the Golovkin fight with a hurt arm, with a hurt wrist. And I gave Canelo a pass for that because I actually did my research, and I knew his hand was injured around that time. But I'm still like, man, you fighting Triple G though. Like, if you can fight him injured, then go ahead. But wasn't too happy about that performance. But yeah, dude was injured though. At first, I was like, oh, he's trying to get John Ryder up out of there. But you got to realize, though, and the next thing I'm going to say is going to be a very serious statement I'm going to say. But when they say, and I hate I got to say this. I don't be liking to say everything, bro, but somebody got to say it. But when they say that Canelo ain't trying to go for the knockout, they saying he ain't trying to go for the knockout because if he hurt that wrist in the middle of a fight, he's done. Yeah, I can't get the picture. I know I had it on my page. But yeah, if he hurt that wrist in the middle of the fight, he's done though. That's what they won't tell you. As much as they want to look past it. So yeah, if guys are hurting their wrist to the point like what we're talking about, that's a red flag, man. I'll pull up another one. But yeah, certain guys hurt their hands, wrists like Tank, and yeah, we know that happens. But these guys, nah, can't give y'all a pass on this one. Yeah, so all these guys hurting their wrists and hands. You gotta think about it, that's Ryan's right hand. That's Ryan's right hand. That's not his left hand. He injured it twice. That's 2021. And that's 2025. And this is 2022 for Canelo. And this is
El señor Julio Aranda, tercero sobre la superficie. Ahí está el choque de guantes entonces y ¡vámonos! Todos los goals que golpean fuerte están en codere.mx. Esquiva la derrota con el nuevo bono de bienvenida de hasta 5,000 pesos y recibe la tarjeta mejor recibida, la más aceptada, la tarjeta de Don Lama.
10 puntos para Gerardo Valenzuela, 9 puntos para el Rey Martínez. Es el momento de cambiar algunas cosas. Tienen que ponerle entusiasmo a la pelea si buscan la victoria.
Y es que sí, decía el gran campeón mexicano que le falta golpear al Rey Martínez, pero cuidado porque se lastimó. Se lastimó el brazo
Déjame
izquierdo.
aprovechar tú, mi querido Cesarín, para mandar saludos a Clínica Baja del Sol, Culiacán y Tijuana, los que tengan problemas de alcohol, drogas, bulimia, anorexia, compulsivos al sexo.
Damn, my bad.
El señor Julio Aranda, tercero sobre la superficie. Ahí está el choque de guantes entonces y ¡vámonos! Todos los goals que golpean fuerte están en codere.mx. Esquiva la derrota con el nuevo bono de bienvenida de hasta 5,000 pesos y recibe la tarjeta mejor recibida, la más aceptada, la tarjeta de Don Lama.
10 puntos para Gerardo Valenzuela, 9 puntos para el Rey Martínez. Es el momento de cambiar algunas cosas. Tienen que ponerle entusiasmo a la pelea si buscan la victoria.
Y es que sí, decía el gran campeón mexicano que le falta golpear abajo al Rey Martínez. Pero, y cuidado, porque se lastimó. Se lastimó el brazo
Déjame
izquierdo.
aprovechar tú, mi querido Cesarín, para mandar saludos a Clínica Baja del Sol, Culiacán y Tijuana, los que tengan problemas de alcohol, drogas, bulimia, anorexia, compulsivos al sexo como tú, mi querido Cesarín. Ya sabes, estás becado en Clínica Baja del Sol. Ya www.com, Clínica Baja del Sol. Y aparte, te quiero decir que muy pronto ya nos vamos a expandir por varios estados de la República Mexicana.
Parece que la situación es grave, mi querido Chéchare. Se está quejando de manera importante el Rey Martínez de la muñeca.
Pierde si no puede continuar. Pierde si no puede continuar.
Ahí está, y no va más, no va más el combate. Se lastima la muñeca Rey Martínez. Ahí parece que fue el problema, cuando soltó el golpe de mano izquierda y pega en el codo de Valenzuela. Ahí es donde se duele Rey Martínez de manera más que manifiesta.
¿Pierde la pelea, Rodo?
A menos que digan
que fue algo fuera del reglamento.
Sí, porque se han sacado todos los problemas de encima los comisionados con ese tipo de
pero estamos hablando de una lesión que decreta la derrota de un peleador.
Por eso yo lo digo un poco con sarcasmo, porque
son capaces.
Es muy difícil que se rompa una muñeca por un choque involuntario.
Sí, son capaces. Él soltó el golpe, pega en el codo.
O sea que para ti perdió Rodolfo Vargas.
Para mí debe de ser una derrota de Rey Martínez. Vamos a ver qué es lo que determina la.
I already put y'all on game about that. Hey. He said, okay. You funny. He said, I never broke a bone. Man, I think I did, but I didn't notice it. I think I did. It might have been my shin when I was a kid with the bike, but I ain't noticed it though. I just thug it out, but yeah, I think my shin was broke from that pedal hitting my leg. You know, you ride the bike back in the day, you just let the pedals go, whatever. Yeah, but they falling behind big time, bro. That's why all that trolling everybody doing, it's like, bro, you got a whole stable of Canelo fighters that's looking disgusted right now. They gonna have to fight their way back. Like Martinez, his career on the line right now. I don't know what weight class he's at, but that guy he was fighting wasn't even for real like that. And then he's moved up to what, 126? They don't even got the man weight up there. So he was fighting at 111 his last fight. The man was fighting at 111. Now he's fighting the guy whose last fight, he was fighting at 126. He fighting at 126. He fighting at 126. He was fighting at 111, bro. Damn, they won't even put, and then this how BoxRec do. So BoxRec done got all this man fights in Mexico. But all of a sudden, when he fight Martinez, we don't know what his weight is. This dude fighting in sports bars, and they know how much he weigh in Mexico. I ain't lying to you. The title of the venue he fights at is La Terraza Sports Bar. And he's fought there at least 50 times. But his last fight, they ain't even put his weight up there, man. Dude fighting at probably 130 right now. He probably fought at 130. They're like, don't put that up there. So this man fighting from 111 to what, 126? Yeah, he cooked, bro. People don't know how bad it is out here. They talking about dudes is fighting. You can't go up 2 weight classes, bro. Well, I don't know if y'all know it or not, but Eddie Reynoso. Well, let me go ahead and write that down too. Eddie Reynoso has a fighter. I don't know if everybody knows it. Breaking news: Eddie Reynoso has a fighter who's going up 1, 2, 3, 4 weight classes after he got off the sauce. This man go up 4 weight classes. And y'all gonna tell me Terrence Crawford can't go up 4 weight classes? Man, conversation over, bro. When it comes to PEDs and weight, and to be honest with y'all, I wasn't even gonna talk about that tonight. But when it comes to that, though, it's not really a conversation, man. I'm telling y'all, Canelo is under fire right now. You would think that somebody got it out for him right now, the way all this bad luck is happening around him. I don't know if it's a red hair or what. They think he Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible, but this one right here, it's gonna be hard to beat right here, outside the ring or in. So Eddie Reynoso has a fighter that's moving up 4 weight classes. Don't nobody care. And I'm being nice. He probably went up 5 weight classes. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. This boy probably went up 5 weight classes to 130. Because the dude he fight around 126, but he really be at 130. And this man been fighting the sports bars. And the crazy part is the dude fought Rafael Espinoza. He didn't fought El Divino. He fought Espinoza in 2022. So that was a year. When was that? Like a year and a half before he fought Martinez. Not Martinez. Ramirez. Yeah, man, that don't make no sense what's up there. So yeah, Eddie Reynoso got a fighter right now that's went up 4 or 5 weight classes after dropping the championship belt or being stripped of the belt. And I like Martinez. Don't get it twisted. I like him, but that don't mean nothing when you try and tell the truth. And compared to what everybody else saying, I wouldn't have even really paid attention to it. But a lot of this other stuff people talking about ain't making sense, man. I'm just writing down a note real quick, because this is something I need to save right here. This dude's probably at 130 right now from 111. So do y'all understand that? That's why I say with the anyway, dude, yeah, we need to get him around. I don't know what it is. Have him weigh in 3 times, 4 times a year, whatever we got to do. Some of these guys, they don't need to be in these small weight classes. And that's one reason why people don't like Dana White. Yeah, I did. I fell out of a tree too. I thought I broke my neck. It wasn't broke, but I don't know. I couldn't turn it for a couple of weeks. But it was almost there. But yeah, I fell out of a tree too. Yeah, me too. I had a cut in my foot too. Yeah, my foot. Yeah, I had that too. But yeah, they seeing what's going on right now. Bro, I'm telling you, it's a lot of pressure on Canelo and his fighters to get it done. I can't believe Reynoso is running around with a fighter that has moved up 4 or 5 weight classes after testing positive. And people are worried about Terrence Crawford. It's bigger than Terrence Crawford. when it comes to everything else, it just needs to stick to boxing, to be honest with you. I don't think a lot of people understand that they favorite trainers, fighters, countrymen, whatever it is, they've been the problem in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Turkey out of sheep. We wouldn't even need a turkey out of sheep if some of these dudes just did their job. Yeah, that's crazy, J man. 4 or 5 weight classes, dog. So we got dudes fighting at 111. I don't know if anybody noticed or not, but I'm gonna tell everybody real talk. I learned this when I was younger. It's some guys at 126 or 130 that will beat the brakes off the average man that's walking around on the street. I know a lot of guys look at these guys and they're like, man, this dude 126, 130. I'm telling you right now, it's a lot of dudes that'll beat the brakes off an average man that's like 126. So for Martinez to be 111 and he can beat up a dude that's like 150, bro, that's why that dude's face was looking the way it did. And I'm gonna tell y'all something else. I'm gonna show y'all the dude that Martinez fought. And I was probably the only person that said something about it. This is last year. This is like a year and some months ago. Hopefully, I'll be able to find a picture real quick. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know if it's yep, here you go. So I did this live last year. Y'all can find it if you search in my lives. It's a classic live. But this dude right here at the bottom picture, the dude under Deontay Wilder, that's who Martinez fought last year. Now y'all see Devin Haney's face on the picture. That dude that Martinez fought right here, Cordova. I think he fight in 2 weeks. He fight on the 23rd. You're gonna find that Jake Paul MVP card with I forgot who else on there. It's gonna be a good card. Jermaine Ortiz and them. But if you look, he's under Deontay Wilder. This is the best picture I can get, but his face is actually more swollen than Haney's was. You know what I'm saying? His face on this picture, it looked like Haney's face is more swollen, but his face is actually more swollen than Haney. They were supposed to stop that fight in like the 9th round. The way Haney's face is right now, his face was looking like that in the 9th round. And the man went out there and won the 10th and 11th and 12th. I'm telling y'all something that's superhuman. He was getting the brakes beat off of him by Martinez. His face was looking like this. The man went out there and won the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th round. He almost won the fight. And he had no losses before that fight. Never lost a fight before. So if y'all want to go see a real classic fight tonight, go back and watch that fight. That dude almost lost his life in the ring, bro. And this dude went out there and walked Martinez down the 10th, the 11th, and 12th round. I thought they should have stopped it in the 9th. One of the most, and guess what? That happened a couple of weeks before Haney did close to the same thing against Ryan Garcia. And I said, whoa, what's going on? Guys, jaws is getting fat. What's up with this? I don't want to get into it too much because people be getting spooked out about the whole PED talk. Because, like I said, whatever that thing is they talking about with Crawford, bro, it's way deeper than that. That ain't, bro. When Crawford retired, trust me, they gonna hear about stuff. People gonna be like, "Oh, what? Not my fighter." But yeah, Martinez almost destroyed that guy. So yeah, that's why Martinez's wrist got injured like that, because he's used to punching people and getting them up out of there. Yeah, his eyes closing. But J-Man, you go back and watch that fight tonight, bro, Martinez was cracking him. And it got to the 9th round, the referee was like, I'm about to stop it. And the dude's jaw was swollen. I said, oh my God, bro. They need to stop this. And he went out there and won the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th round. One of the best things I've ever seen. He's one of my favorite fighters right now. I can't even lie to you. But yeah, man, when you see a guy's jaw swollen like that, it's something wrong, man. Something very wrong going on. They gotta understand that. So I had did a whole live last year where I'm like, hey, I know people having this conversation about pets or whatever, but that's why when you go back and look, everybody who sat up here and said, hey man, I think Haney's finished. I think he done. He'll never be the same, especially Derrick James. Every guy who said that, that's disgusting, man. You basically want somebody in a wheelchair. That's the way I look at it. When somebody sit up here and say somebody done, you want to see another man in a wheelchair. We don't need people like that in boxing. That ain't no boxing fan. That's a demon. We don't need nobody like that in boxing. And that's real talk. There's too many demons running around in boxing and trying to dress it up as a art or something like that. Nah, that ain't no art, homie. You got 30 minutes to get the job done. I feel like after that, it should be a crowd of people meeting you outside with some firearms. Because ain't no way you're going to sit up here and go in a boxing ring with a weapon and you got 30 minutes to get the job done and you got a rematch clause. Come on now. So yeah, that's why I really didn't want to get into the PED thing. It kind of like get me upset sometimes, bro, to be honest with you. Because when I was in high school, that's the first time I seen a guy on PEDs. And everybody was just like ignoring it. I kept saying to my homeboy, bruh, because y'all got to realize I had just came back from NFL Combine. So I seen how big NFL players were, or guys that was going to get drafted. I seen a dude who was 110 pounds. He was the biggest thing in the whole building. I said, bro, he on something. This dude is the biggest man in the entire building, and he's 100 pounds. He's on something. Look like a pair of arms just walking. He's on something. So for people to not notice that and be like, man, that don't matter. That don't matter. Okay, bro, you don't think that matters. That's why this era, you're going to see a lot of fighters who are going to look basic. It's going to be a lot of guys going out there not letting their hands go because they don't have that superpower. That's a superpower. For people to say that's for losing weight, no, that's not for losing weight. You get the energy from that to lose weight. I mean, if you never getting tired, of course you're going to lose weight. Any person that's using narcotics will get skinny eventually. People that's homeless that use narcotics get skinny and lose weight. Duh. Usually when you use any kind of drug, you lose weight. So that's not even a conversation of, oh, that helps you lose weight. People who smoke cigarettes lose weight. So I don't know. That's not even, they try to use a scientific reason of, yeah, well, you lose weight by doing, yeah, bro, any drug you use, you lose weight. Is that not facts? That's facts. So that whole little narrative they tried to push last year, oh, it's catching up to them. That's why I'm not really upset. I just bring it up every now and again. It sounds like I'm nagging because people be like, why are you still talking about PEDs? Because, bro, Turkey seen what happened last year and had a fighter from Saudi Arabia fight a dirty fighter. He's not finna put dirty fighters in the ring with his fighters from Saudi Arabia. He's not finna do it. So if he's not gonna do that, nobody's gonna come in that dirty. You can't have Canelo come in that dirty against Crawford, then say, Canelo, clean yourself up against Shiraz. No, that's not gonna happen. Canelo gonna be clean against Crawford, Shiraz, whoever. Ain't no time for that, bro. Because when dudes got their boxing record, or they got their managers, or their trainers, or they promoters, or whoever they've been working with, accountants, whoever they got on their team, they ain't thinking about no everything else everybody else thinking about. That's why they playing a dangerous game with this whole Crawford talk. J-Man said maybe that's why there's so many injuries in sports. Dudes cutting corners. Yeah, it seems like that. I feel like too, J-Man, it'd be a lot of guys going against guys cutting corners. That's why some of them injuries come from. But shoot, even yeah. To be real with you, yeah. I feel like that. Yeah, he's talking about dirty, cutting corners like dirty. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about cutting corners like being dirty. Yeah, they are, man. That's why people got to realize it's not a lot of people that's looking the same when they get with and I'm gonna tell y'all what's the big deal. I said this the other day. I might be repeating myself, but Canelo getting caught at Riyadh season with turkey on the sheet, that was a sign right there that they ain't messing around. I'm telling you, it's not a good thing for Munguia to get caught in Saudi Arabia on a dirty test. It just wasn't a good thing. Y'all got to look at it that way. Like him getting caught dirty before Canelo fight, that would have been a situation where they would have said, "Nah, we're not going." They probably would let everybody else test positive. But if they was trying to protect in a situation, they would have protected Munguia. He just got knocked out. He with Canelo now. They like, boy, hell no. Nah. You fighting on the co-main event and you gonna be dirty. You're done. And he in a tough situation right now. Bro, he in the worst situation, bro. I'm telling y'all. He in the worst situation. France don't got that many fighters. And the dude he knocked out is still undefeated. And he's a 160. And that's the dude who knocked him out. So he in a bad situation, bro. They're not gonna hold up like that. France is gonna do everything they can to make sure that he get a suspension or some punishment or something. Because old boy, I put out a story a couple of months ago. The dude that knocked out Munguia, he said a couple of months ago, it's a lot of fighters out here. I'm gonna tell y'all why everybody's scared. It's a lot of fighters out here right now, like the dude who knocked out Munguia, that want a chance to fight the guys like Munguia fair and square. They don't want no rematches. Dudes up here coming in dirty and rematches. They want straight up fights. And he said to me, I mean, not to me, but in the interview, he said that if they go out there and have the league with Dana White, a lot of fighters in his position are going to choose that way because they want to have rules like UFC and boxing. The fans might not want it. But as a fighter, he feels like if he don't have that chance to fight in the league like that, he's cooked. He feel like he's done. He said he already been out here pro. He almost 30 years old. He was working in the shoe store before he knocked down Munguia. A lot of people don't know that. Munguia got knocked out by a dude who was selling shoes. They talking about Padley, Josh Padley, he an electrician. That dude a shoe salesman. I'm talking about over there trying to make it work. So for them to be having that situation on Turkey's card with Canelo as the fighter, bro, I'm telling you right now, if Canelo is anything better than what he's been his last 3 fights, that's gonna be a red flag. They can say he was cruising the last 3 fights, and he came out this time and he was ready, and Crawford got him all riled up, whatever you want to say. If dude come out there looking different, I'm gonna just wait until a couple of days go by. But I don't think he's gonna take that chance though. I'm gonna be real with y'all. He ain't gonna take that chance. He said he protected and not being suspended. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they under a microscope right now, J-Man. Under a real microscope. Everybody, that's why I said last year, it sounds negative, but people got to realize, I didn't want to see Haney get cheated by Ryan Garcia, but it was needed in the sport of boxing. It was needed. It was needed. The reason why it was needed, every narrative in boxing got destroyed. Every narrative. They just said last year PEDs don't matter. I mean, if that didn't need to happen in boxing, I don't know what did. You telling me before 2024 dudes ain't know that PEDs matter in boxing? Oh yeah, man. That's why it's funny now that the guys that said PEDs don't matter are saying Terrence Crawford is using PEDs. But when Ryan Garcia fought Haney, I said that didn't matter. Y'all noticed that, right? I'll let y'all get that one. Y'all didn't get that from me. I'll let y'all have that one. But if any of these dudes argue with y'all, just tell them, ain't you the same dude that said PEDs didn't matter when Ryan Garcia was fighting Haney? Now when Terrence Crawford fighting Canelo, all of a sudden PEDs matter. These dudes is not boxing experts. I'm trying to tell you. They know the same thing y'all know. They just read good. Allah makes no mistakes. That's a fact. All the way. I think Devin got a curse on a lot of people too, as far as people who slander his name. I don't know what's been going on lately, but like I started this live off saying, Prograis wants to fight Devin Haney. Regis Prograis said he want to fight Devin Haney. That's why I kept saying last year, like Michael Jordan shrugged, like, bro, what are y'all talking about? He just gave this man a payday. He talking about he came in 25 pounds over. So what? What are you talking about? That happens all the time in boxing. Then you see Berlanga come in 25 over. Ain't nobody say nothing. And that happened right after that. So ain't nobody really care about that. And Prograis said, yeah, I'll fight Devin Haney again. Because I want a big money fight. That's crazy. So the guy you was slandering all last year, you want to get some money with him. Only in boxing where a dude can talk about you for a whole year and say the worst thing about you. And then say, hey man, let's make some good money together. I'm trying to get a career high payday with you. I know I done messed your brand up, but man, go ahead, let's get in the ring, dog. You know I was just tripping. That's why I said last year a Prograis, bro. If you look at my lives, I'm like, bro, this dude ain't it right now. But I know why though. I can't say nothing behind the scenes. You know, it's some behind the scenes stuff I can't really get into as far as with that. But I'll say, yeah, I can't get into it with that. But you know, it is what it is, man. Devin Haney they know he the guy, bro. People got to use his name to promote certain things. It's been like that since the Loma fight, to be honest with you. They found out he was a star then when he was talked about. They had rappers. You had more rappers, and y'all ain't gonna believe this, but this is facts. Look it up. You had more rappers react to Devin Haney versus Lomachenko than you did for Lamont Rose versus Tank. I think that has to do with nut hugging too. I think a lot of these rappers be nut hugging Tank, so they ain't want to have no comments about his fight. But with Devin Haney, when he fought Lamont Roach, dudes talking about they ain't gonna watch boxing no more. And, what is this? All kind of stuff. And to be honest with you, these dudes paid for the fight. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Did y'all know that? These dudes paid to watch. Devin Haney had a whole bunch of rappers paying to watch him fight Lomachenko on ESPN right after Ryan and Tank fought. And it was in the springtime. During spring break, these dudes got their girl in the house at 12 o'clock at night trying to watch 23, 24-year-old Devin Haney fight Lomachenko on Lomachenko first pay-per-view. So ever since then, I said, oh, Devin got the game on lock. Then I started my little channel. Then everybody come on there. Yeah, Haney lost to Loma. I'm like, Haney lost to Loma. I ain't talked about Haney or Loma yet. I just started this channel. Yeah, but Haney lost to Loma, though. I ain't even did a Haney video yet. You ain't give me a chance. Yeah, but he lost to Loma, bro. I'm like, huh? What is this? What's going on? Then everybody said, yeah. Then I go around, I'm asking everybody, did you see what the black eyes that Teofimo had against Loma? Nah, I ain't see that. Bro, Loma gave Teofimo black eyes. I think he had like 2 black eyes when he lost when he beat Loma. You telling me Lomachenko giving out black eyes now? Lomachenko don't give nobody black eyes. You tell me the one person that Lomachenko gave a black eye to, it wasn't a close fight? Oh, man, come on. All right, bro. I see what's going on. I'm telling y'all, bro, I do my research. You're not finna find no fights with Lomachenko just blacking dudes' eyes like that. This dude had 2 black eyes. And they sitting up here like, yeah, Haney was close with Loma. Loma was landing all those shots. First of all, I already used this example one time. If you call a guy pillow fist and he walks down a Lomachenko for the first half of the fight, I don't know, man. You low-key calling Loma a bum, man. So the guy Loma fought, he pillow fist, but he got walked down by the guy. It's not a good look. So yeah, the narrative they putting out there in boxing is it's actually fun. It makes boxing better because this stuff needs to be said. They think this stuff. We got the internet. We need to use it. So they think PEDs don't matter. Okay. Well, I want Ryan Garcia to prove that. And he's going to have plenty of opportunities. I'm going to tell y'all why tomorrow he's going to have opportunity to prove why PEDs matter or don't matter. He going to be in a tough spot, bro. He's not in that main event world-class must-see TV spot like he was, because you got to think about it. He's the reason why people said those performances that weekend were horrible. If Ryan Garcia would have got a knockout that weekend, everybody would have said this is the best weekend of boxing I ever seen. Thank you, Turkey Al-Sheikh. But they said what? Devin was running the whole time. But you know what everybody don't realize? Ryan was running the whole time too. The whole time. Because, you know, standing in the same spot after getting knocked down is considered running in my book. If a dude drops you with your own signature left hook and you don't walk him down for the next, 10 rounds? And how much money he made? He made, $20, $30 million? I heard people out here talking about, these dudes out here stealing money. He made $20, $30 million for that fight. I say $20 million. That's what I know. For that fight. And his performance looked like that. And they talking about guys that's getting overpaid. See, what I don't like is when it comes to Ryan, they don't like to put no names on it. I feel like these boxers, these legends, some of these guys are underneath Ryan. Because if you can't even say his name, but when Haney name come up, oh, Haney, it's Daddy and everybody else, they need to fix that. And they had Shane Mosley over there. Okay. Ryan had Derrick James over there. He got Oscar on his team. This man got Oscar and he got Derrick James. And was the main event. Didn't he let his hands fly? And y'all want to hear something else too? He ain't let his hands go against Devin Haney. When he fought Devin Haney, he ain't let his hands go. He really lost that fight, to be real. If he would have lost that fight, that would have saved his career. That's what a lot of people don't realize. Sometimes, bro, doing things the right way, and like J-Man said, instead of cutting corners, that's cutting corners. But that's sometimes the system is doing that. But if he would have lost to Devin Haney last year, that man could have went on and fought Pacquiao or somebody or whoever it was he was going to fight. And he could have took the beating he took last year. He would have got a couple of knockdowns. Everybody would have bragged about it, whatever. But they turned it into a whole scenario, which is helping clean boxing, to be honest with you. So Ryan going down in history regardless. Whether we want him to or not, he going down in history. Because he's put everything out there that's wrong about boxing, that people try to hide and keep secrets and everything else. We know what time it is. We just want to be real about it. We don't want to argue with people about, oh, this is my favorite fighter. But that ain't what boxing debates and stuff is about. Like, your favorite fighter. Nobody's trying to argue about favorite fighters. Most of the time, dudes ain't even talking about favorite fighters. We talking about somebody who ain't a favorite fighter. It's like we talking about other weight classes. If that's your favorite fighter, you already know that you feel like ain't nobody gonna be able to beat him. So That's technically off limits. See, dudes don't know how to argue no more, bro. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be real. When we was talking about basketball back in the day, yeah, Kobe and LeBron was a topic, but Eric, that wasn't the main topic though. McGrady name used to come up, but these dudes, they get the top two guys, and they like, yeah, that's all I know. Yeah, that conversation get old real quick though. It gets old real quick. So with Ryan, man, he's gonna be in a tough situation. I think 140 is a crazy weight class. We got to remember too, everybody from 140 will be going to 147. Everybody. It's an easy jump because most of those guys got power. Even Liam Farrell got a lot of knockouts. You know, he looked trash against Hitches. I ain't gonna say he looked trash against Hitches, but he didn't look like he did against Matias. But he was able to stand in front of Matias though. So a lot of those guys gonna be able to go to 47. And I'm gonna tell somebody else too something. I had said last year that Matias can't really make that 147 jump. Him and Regis Prograis. And look at that weight class now. They still at 140. They can't make that jump like that, bro. Devin Haney is in a different class, man. If those guys were better than Devin Haney, like most people said, they'll be able to make that jump to 147. That 147 jump is not easy. Then this man finna fight Brian Norman Jr. Think about it. That 147, shout out to J-Man chat, everybody in chat. Pooh Dangle. Shout out to Pooh Dangles out there. That 147 jump is not easy. They think that, okay, we're going to be able to get Ryan at 47. No, you're not. No, you're not, dog. Danny Garcia was struggling at 147, and he's not trash at 147. Even Pacquiao was running into some trouble when he got to 47. The whole time Pacquiao was at 47, he wasn't just dominating. Yeah, Devin putting in that work, dog. Him fighting Norman, if he go out there and beat Norman, everybody else done. Ain't nobody gonna beat this man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is the closest chance anybody got to beating Devin Haney. If Norman don't get it, y'all through out here, bro. All that Shakur, and I'm gonna just be real with you. I like Shakur Stevens. I think he's a good matchup with Haney, but bro, everybody else done. This is the best matchup you can probably get because if Haney fight Norman, I think this fight just gonna help him if he ever fight Boots. I think this will help him if he fight Boots because I'm gonna tell you why. People know that Norman is a lot better than they thought he was because they going back watching fights now. They realize that he has multiple knockouts like this. This isn't normal. They know what time it is. But Haney been fighting guys like this all his life, though. Not like Norman. Norman got superpowers. But you know what I'm saying? All his life he's been fighting power punchers, the highly skilled guys that's bigger. They always thought he was a guy that wasn't going to fight bigger guys. But they got to understand, Haney was just appreciating that he was able to make 135 and 140. And he made the best fights possible at those weight classes. But I think a lot of fans are actually used to fighters not trying to make the best fights at the weight classes while they're there. Because I hear a lot of times guys will be like, well, when he go to 140, they can make that fight. But Haney like, nah, I'm making that fight at 135. Once I leave 135, I'm going to fight the best at 140. Then I'm going to fight the best at 147. You still have a lot of guys. I'm going to tell y'all what's crazy. You still got a lot of guys at 140 that was there when Terrence Crawford was at 135. It's only a certain amount of people that can move up in weight the right way, like a Terrence Crawford or a Canelo or Devin Haney or even a Benavidez. It's only certain people. Guys are starting to separate themselves right now. It's even like a Rolly. I like Rolly, but him and Ryan gonna have to eventually fight some 47s. Some real deal 47s, 147s. They're gonna have to. Not guys who got good press conferences and the fighter sell good. We're talking about real fights. Because I know he has the Manny Pacquiao fights lined up, but guess what? If he gets past Pacquiao, he has a mandatory set up next year with Shakharam Giazov, and people say he's a very good fighter. They think he's highly skilled. So will Rolly have the belt long? I don't think so. So he's doing the most he can with it. Because that guy going to get the belt eventually. And when he gets the belt, it's not going to be a Ryan that's going to fight the guy, be able to beat him. I don't think Rolly be able to beat him. So you'll have like Devin Haney that'll possibly match up with that guy and have a unification if he has a belt around that time. But it's people are closing the door on a lot of things. I think Blair Cars will get with him right now. That's why I said, J-Man, that Duarte thing, I'm going to get into it tomorrow about it because there's not that many fights coming on this week. So we can talk about stuff that ain't really just about the fights going on right now. But I want to see Ryan versus Blair Cobbs, though. That's actually the fight I want to see. You know, Blair Cobbs ain't with Golden Boy no more. He is a free agent. So we'll see. But I would like to see Ryan versus Blair Cobbs. I wanted to see Ryan versus T.O., but to be honest with you, I can't say that to tomorrow, so I don't have to say that. But I'll just say Oscar has been trying to make T.O. versus Ryan for a minute. And I think T.O. was who? How did it go? Hold on, I'm trying to think. No, Ryan was actually with it, and T.O. didn't want to fight him. But the last time around last year, T.O. said, because Ryan said, I want to fight T.O. next. And T.O. said, if you test with water or something, I don't know what he said. Some crap he said. I forgot what it was. He was like, we got to use some other testing company or whatever. But I was like, oh, what are you asking about testing for? You know it's bad when you got to ask your homeboy, hey, man, you got to take this PED test. Your homeboy. I'm talking about these dudes be hanging around all the time. You actually a homeboy to test? That's crazy. Yeah, they started out, yeah. They started out now and doing it. They ain't gonna have that fight. I think the only way they have that fight, because Ryan, he's stuck on the whole Rolly situation. If that fight don't happen, not trying to fight Devin right now, but that fight still can happen down the line, man. You never know. You never know. Devin definitely gonna be open to his revenge no matter what, as far as with Ryan. But it just goes to show that Devin will fight Norman and still jump in the ring with a Ryan Garcia. Dude, different, bro. I'm telling y'all. This ain't no Floyd situation. People talking about Floyd don't fight the guys that people want to see. You know, Floyd waited till guys get to a certain point in their career. He was aging out people. Well, guess what? Devin Haney ain't doing that. So I would love to see him get the credit that people didn't give Floyd, because he's doing the things that he's seen people say Floyd didn't do. I'm talking about the man is fighting. He made people think that having a close fight with Lomachenko was a bad thing. That's how good he is. And that's not me fanning out or nothing. That's just real talk. Just being real honest. Every year, I'm looking for somebody to put on a bigger fight than him. And out of nowhere, and you got to realize something too. He had Brian Norman Jr.'s name on the list before Brian Norman had the knockout. So that also lets you know. That's why I'm going to be honest with y'all. I ain't going to say too much about the as far as breakdowns. But I'm going to say this. Devin Haney had Brian Norman's name on the list before he got the knockout. He knows how good he is. So as much as I want to say, maybe you're underestimating him, I don't think so. Like, dude is a student of the game for real. Because when Haney picked Kambosos to beat Teofimo, a lot of people didn't really see that coming. Dude is a student of the game, so he knows what he's looking at. But that's gonna be a very good fight, man. They got a lot of good matchups coming up this year. Turkey Al-Sheik's not playing, man. If any American fighter in America who's elite that wants to fight anybody, he's finding out who wants to fight anybody right now. Any promoters that's scared to hold on to certain people, and this is another point that would like to be made too. People said that Brian Norman, him and his team didn't want to make moves, and they was turning down certain money and everything else. But it seemed like with Turkey, he's made the easiest fight. That fight was made quicker than any other fight I've seen with Turkey Al-Sheikh. So I think all the narratives that was said about him or Haney has been destroyed. And the thing I like about him and Haney fight actually being set up already, you don't hear nobody calling these dudes out right now. You don't hear nobody calling these dudes out right now. Nobody. You got to think about that. All the, I fight Haney or I fight Norman, that stuff is starting to get out of hand. So when you get the two guys who really want to fight people, you take that distraction away because everybody using that as a distraction because they really don't want to fight them. They just using their name. So once that's going away, what about the other champions in boxing? Because your boy Puello, they saying right now, Puello, he trying to get his rematch with Sabril Matias. He don't care what Turkey Al-Sheikh talking about. And I know why he trying to. I know why they're trying to make the fight with Dalton Smith. Dalton Smith been ranked high for a minute now. Him and the dude Hiroka. Andy Hiroka, who's supposed to fight Gary Antoine Russell. The dude who knocked out Barroso in Japan. But him and Dalton Smith been waiting on guys for a minute at 140. They really holding up the division like that. Because you still had Rayo fight Russell, and those were two guys who just lost, and then Rayo just won, and then he just lost again. So while they're having those fights, and then Pitbull fighting this guy and that guy, then Dalton Smith sitting there the whole time. But yeah, Puello, he trying to make this fight happen again with Matias though. And they talking about Kenneth Sims want a rematch with Duarte. That was actually a close fight. I thought Sims could have put his foot on the gas, to be honest with you. He was outboxing him as far as like the punches he was landing, but I don't know. The way I seen him, I had to go back and look for real, but he boxed well though. I will say that. He boxed well, but the news is coming out, man, over the next, I want to say, y'all gonna see me on live a lot tomorrow because we got a lot of news I'm gonna put out tomorrow. So I don't know. Y'all can check in morning, afternoon, evening. I'm gonna be on live. Got a lot of stuff I'm gonna put out connected to what we talking about tonight. They got a lot of news coming out. I'm glad it's coming out now though, because we still have the Moses Atama, all those fights coming on next week. Then the week after that, they got some big card in Florida with Jermaine Ortiz, Claggett, couple of other fighters, some female fighters too. And then September, you got Inouye and Terrence Crawford. A lot of fights popping up in September. And then you got Virgil Ortiz fighting in October. So yeah, everybody getting ready really for Canelo versus Crawford. That's gonna be in 5 weeks, man. September 13th. That's gonna be in 5 weeks. But between now and then, it's not really too many fights. They gonna have on to check for, really. So we're really just gonna be talking about this Crawford and Canelo fight up until that point. And any other news. But the news tomorrow I'm gonna have to talk about. I'm probably gonna try to talk about some Canelo stuff tomorrow too. But yeah, they're gonna try to have Ryan Garcia. They're gonna still have him in improvement mode, man. I'm telling you, what I'm gonna tell you tomorrow, y'all gonna be like, dang. I know a lot of people probably know already, but people don't know that Oscar Duarte been chasing this dude for a year and a half, and they both on Golden Boy. And it seemed like Oscar, allegedly, I can't say this because I don't know. I'm not there with them. The way he's moving him, it's like he's made him a promise that he'll put him in the loop with a Ryan Garcia fight, because Ryan Garcia ain't got that many names. And because Oscar Duarte, after his fights, he ain't just saying, hey, I want to fight Ryan Garcia. Because I even noticed when he called out Ryan Garcia, they just said, oh, he want to fight Sabril Matias and Pitbull Cruz. Nah, he said he want to fight Ryan. He said, I want my revenge. He actually said he want to fight Pitbull, but he wants his revenge with Ryan. So yeah, they trying to go around that fight. And Duarte looked like a guy who need to be fighting Ryan Garcia, who was tested. I'll just say that. I mean, that's your reputation now. It is what it is, bro. But I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. We're gonna be on live tomorrow. I'll be back on. I think they got a fight coming on Friday with this dude named Albert Ramirez. He's like a knockout artist. He's supposed to be a mandatory for Benavidez, so I'm gonna watch that. Yeah, that's the only fight that's coming on this week. That's gonna be on Friday on the Zone. And after that, they probably gonna have some UFC or something on. I don't think I'm gonna check that out. But next week, Moses Atama, Dillian White, Nick Ball, Sam Goodman, which is, I don't like that fight. Ray Ford and Nova. That was supposed to be Kakashi. But that's gonna be a good fight still. And Hergovic and Adelaide, that's gonna be a good fight. But yeah, I'm gonna be back on tomorrow, man. I appreciate everybody for being alive, hanging in there with me. J-Man, Native Wild Man. Everybody who came through.